struggled very much for all the reasons this community knows around trust. Trust was a not just a foreign concept to me, but it just I learned to not trust. And so the third deliberate choice I made was to build trust in myself. And then that led to learning how to inspire the trust of others. Was there ever a time you needed to build trust in yourself? And if so, how did you do it?
Um, uh, yeah, as I reflected on this, I think self-doubt
Hmm.
has always been an important prerequisite for growth for me. So, uh, when you can overcome self-doubt and when you can gain the ability to trust yourself, you gain confidence. So, and I've experienced that in every new role I've taken, any new endeavor I've experienced, and I've come to accept it and lean into it. So when when I don't trust myself, when I experience self-doubt, to me it's like that's great because that is part of growth. And I know from a year from that point, I will have gained the confidence in myself and built trust in myself that I'll be stronger for it. But the idea of trusting myself as well does mean that I have to take risks. I think there's a piece to that, and it's all around growth. And I remember coming across an individual, this is quite a few years ago, who talked about the idea if you don't make a decision within the first 5 seconds of thinking about it, then your brain will talk you out of it. And it could be really simple, right? It could be saying something in a meeting or expressing a view that is contrarian. And what this individual said was that what will help is neurologically is that you don't just say it within 5 seconds, you accompany it with movement. And
Ooh.
by the way, I'm very gesticular, right? I think it's my Trinidadian mother and her roots. So I tend to use my hands a lot. But by doing that, by accompanying a thought within the first 5 seconds, you take a risk. And when you start to take more risks, you start to build more trust in yourself and you gain confidence in yourself. So it's that sort of that that's something I try to do, is to lean into that. And it's it's again, it's a work in progress. It's always like trying to think about how, knowing that trust is something that you have to build. So
Mhm.
you look for these techniques in which to do it, but you also don't get discouraged the fact that you don't have trust in yourself, or you are or you lack a certain confidence in yourself, because that's just part of growth. So just accept it and then learn from it and grow from it.
Ah, this is one of the reasons I was so excited to have you on because you are Imran, head of North America for WTW and all the other things that you do for the community and all the things that you do around you. And just for others to hear you say you struggle with self doubt and you choose to take a risk, to take action, I just think it's
Mm,
powerful. And we're both parents. I think about that with
mm.
our kids, with our children, and I know you've been such an example to both of your kids too.
Do you know my I said to my kids, this was quite a few years ago when they were young and they're playing sports or whatever they do. My both kids played chess, for example, and or whether they're trying to do an exam at school. And I'd say to them, you're going to experience self-doubt, you'll experience nervousness, but channel that, and recognize that's just an important actual energy that you experience, and you can use that energy. And my daughter still reflects on that today in everything she does. She will say that very point, that she knows that when she's experiencing it, but she uses it to her advantage and channels it. And I think that's an important part in building trust in yourself.
Now, so this is building trust in yourself. How do you inspire the trust of others?
So to me, it has to be grounded in authenticity and a set of values that you stay anchored to. And so when you're able to articulate positions without agendas, when you're able to be mindful through your interactions with others, when you engage in authentic conversations and substantive ones, then I think you build a level of trust with others, because then um, they feel less vulnerable to be able to engage with me. And so I hold that trust dearly, right? And then, but to me it is about being authentic. The other thing that fuels me around authenticity is curiosity. So I like to learn about people, learn about their perspectives, and I look for connection points through that learning. So when I'm engaging in dialogue, and I met somebody over the weekend, we went to a Chicago Fire game.
Oh,
And it was the most. It was
yeah.
the weather was horrible, but we're at this game, and I met somebody, and random. I was there with my daughter, and we got into this discussion and dialogue. What do you do? What do I do? And we started talking, and I was curious. I was asking questions. Where are you from? And this person was actually born in Trinidad.
Oh,
Who would have thought it? And we started then engaging in this just wonderful conversation about food, because that's a connection point, right? So then you and I was genuinely curious, and through that curiosity came authenticity, and I think a level of interaction that was real. And I walked away from that saying that was a really impactful human experience. And so I guess that's a long-winded way of saying that's how I
no,
build trust.
it's fabulous. And curiosity and care. If you're
Yeah.
curious and you care enough to learn about the other person, oh my gosh, and this manifests across all of our lives, in our
Mm.
professional roles, inspiring trust with clients, inspiring trust with our children, inspiring trust with our community. Thank you for joining me for our Choose and Become interview series. You could find this episode and others at trishkendall.com. Just go to trishkendall.com/choose-become-interview-series. Or if you have a question or just want to leave a comment, email me, trish@trishkendall.com.